The world is a global village.
And that's because information travels beyond boundaries.
And on This Morning on ITV,
we guarantee unbiased analysis on topical issues
that will educate you,
entertain you.
So join us.
Join us.
Join us.
Join us.
Join us.
Join us.
Every Sunday to Thursday, 7 a.m. to 10 a.m. on your ultimate news and current affairs program on television, This Morning on ITV, TMI. Join us! Okay, much obliged again for having joined us on the show, TMI. Beautiful Monday morning. I have with me in the studio the senator representing Edo South Senatorial District, the very distinguished senator, pharmacist Matthew Urhoghede. Distinguished man, thanks for joining us on the program.
Thank you very much. My pleasure to be here.
Okay, we just want to do a chit-chat on the impact of the National Assembly in terms of ensuring that the executive functions within the ambit of the law to make life better for the average Nigerians. Let's start from the National Assembly, as it were. People have talked about the level of stability in the National Assembly as being a critical challenge for it to be able to function within the ambit of the law and hold the executive accountable and also meet the aspirations of Nigerians. Do you subscribe to that?
Well, first and foremost, let me say, if I've understood you perfectly, the arms of government, as far as functions, as enshrined in our Constitution. I'm talking of the one that is operative, now that is the 1999 Constitution as amended. It's very clear, the functions that we have to perform, very, very clear. The National Assembly, made up of the Senate and the House of Representatives, being the legislative arm at the federal level, has its own functions, statutory functions, as enshrined in the Constitution. So if, of course, an assembly, as it is now the 8th Assembly, is performing its functions as enshrined. Like you will say, I'm a senator of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. What is expected of me as a senator? Number one, I have to make laws for the good governance of this country. Two, I have to do my oversight function. That is the MDAs, Ministry Permanent Agencies of Government, that we have to look, or superintend over. And then, of course, to represent, my constituents. That is my primary constituents. That is the constituency I represent. These are the functions. And then, of course, as an assembly or as parliament, it is that you are supposed to, do some checks and balances on the side of, the executive, and even the judiciary. And what this one means, therefore, is that, there are functions that you must perform. There are things you must do, in, of course, oversighting the executive. But again, why do you call them the executive? They are the executors of whatever program, whatever law, whatever motions, or whatever resolutions that are made, or decisions that are made by Parliament that is sent to them. Okay. Again, these decisions, I must say, there is nowhere in the Constitution that there are reprisals. There are consequences for not obeying. If the President does not sign a bill that is passed by the National Assembly, for instance, and we wait for some time, as stipulated in the Constitution, he does not sign that bill, the National Assembly can veto that bill by two-thirds majority to say, yes, it now becomes law. But again, in the execution of that law, it is still the same executive that must execute it. There is no provision that there is any element of compulsion. That if they don't do it, that will visit these reprisals or these consequences on them. Okay. Again, when you move motions, on daily basis, motions are moved by concerned representatives, senators and members of the House of Reps. The same thing happens at state level and all of that. Or even to the local government, where councillors constitute the legislative arm of government at that level. When you make resolutions on daily basis on things that come on daily basis, and you pass these resolutions, there is a resolution by the, if it's one of the houses, by the Senate or by the House of Reps, or even jointly to consolidate a resolution, you say this is the position. This is something of grave national interest. Please, we are passing it to you, the executive. There is no element of compulsion.
That they are discretionary.
For instance, the Senate, almost over a year ago, when our very highly revered, monarch passed, and of course it was a thing of national importance. I came up with a motion on the floor of the Senate, and overwhelmingly my colleagues in the Senate supported me. That look, the Benin Airport, please be named after our monarch. Look at the location of the airport, on that same road where we have our palace. And this is a distinguished Nigerian who served meritoriously. Of course, and we're able to get the narrative, and of course to say, yes, he merits it. All right? Name the Benin Airport after him. We have since passed it to the executive. I cannot carry guns to go and force them to do it. But look at equipment that was just buried. All right?
Yeah.
They have named, an institution there after him. So, you see, some of these things are frustrating.
Yeah.
Virtually all the standing committees in the Senate oversee virtually every aspect of the executive. Every aspect of the executive, including the presidency itself, because all the organs, all the agencies that work with them, that make them to function, are being superintended or oversighted by a committee of the Senate.
Yeah.
Of course, you expect that these committees, when they oversight them, they do corrections from time to time. Look at the issue of, long queues and all of that you have Nigerians are suffering. Downstream committee of the Senate oversights all aspects, the downstream, oil sector. And to say, yes, these queues, they are embarrassing, why must Nigerians suffer? Maybe a lot of resolutions, a lot of suggestions have been made to them. The president, who is the minister, okay, as it were, of petroleum, is supposed to come in to say these are decisive decisions that we really must do. Or the minister of state, that is in charge of petroleum, to say these are the things we must do to ensure that sufferings, of Nigerians are minimized. But you find out that there is no element of compulsion for them to be conscripted, on the path of having to do what is fair and right for Nigerians.
Okay. Looking at the present administration in the country, there's been this feeling that promises made have not been met, a lot of expectations have not been met. In the course of your analysis, I'm sure you made references to why some of these things have not been made in terms of the National Assembly or the legislators holding the executive, meeting these expectations. What do you make of the present administration's seeming inability to meet some of these expectations? Is it lack of capacity? Is it lack of political will? Is it as a result of the sins of the past government, as it were?
You see, let me say something. First and foremost, I've come to the conclusion that we are Nigerians. And what, subsists today in our country is what everyone sees. Even, the very young, the middle-aged and the aged in our society. Everybody can see what is going on in this country. And I think we have since passed the threshold of having to, proceed blames, here and there. I mean, everybody is given ample opportunity, to prove his mettle, to prove your capacity, and then, of course, to be able to elicit promises, that you made, while campaigning or, while asking for the mandate of the people. So you can't pass the buck anymore. So whatever you have done, there must be a verifiable evidence that, yes, I'll be able to meet the yearnings of our people, thus far. Of course, I don't want to play politics with this. This is not the time, on the altar of, self, aggrandizement, this is what I have to say. Nigerians are totally dissatisfied. No doubt about that. I am dissatisfied. The only thing I want to say is that the body I belong to, the Senate, which is an institution, in the nation, it's a national institution. Somehow the 8th Senate has come out very strong to be able to do things that have tended to put governance on the right path, irrespective of our political leaning. And I want to say that the 8th Senate today that I belong to is one that has given credence, that has, of course, taken into consideration what life of the Nigerian, the ordinary life, or the ordinary Nigerian is supposed to be, what is life supposed to be, what's supposed to reflect. And we are serious about it. And it's across, party lines. Nobody really is doing this because I belong to party or party B. Check it out. A lot of the criticism of this government, of the executive, is coming from the APC, segment of membership of the National Assembly, as much as it is coming from the PDP membership of the National Assembly. Because we are all on the same page in our vehemence to see to it that this country becomes a better place to live in, where things begin to work. Unfortunately, you find out that where there is incompetence, people want to take one excuse or the other. And there is no hiding place for them anymore. Yeah. That even Nigerians now get to know this is what it is. Our party systems too have been exposed. That the lack of competence on the part of people who manage our political parties, who are responsible for throwing up candidates for elections. Yeah. We now know that, yes, there's a whole lot of incompetence at that level. Because a political party that is not good certainly will not be able to organize primaries properly, that will throw up proper people, that will be able to elicit good governance in the land. So all those ones too are gradually being eroded. Good persons are now coming into stead. And of course getting people who are really patriots, or people who are driven with patriotic zeal to say, look, I want to aspire to political positions. But the good thing is this: never again will it happen that people who do not meet well, or those who have verifiable evidence to say I have represented or performed well, for them to be re-elected. Mandates cannot be renewed anymore for anybody who has not performed. So this same government, at federal level, if the people score it low, and then we have an independent electoral body that will be ready to say this is what was expressed, by the people through the ballot box, they will get proper people that will rule this country. So it's not for me to give marks, otherwise also you're not being partisan.
What do you make of the level of response of the present government to the challenge of security, or the challenges of security in the country right now? And then, of course, the buy-in by the Senate.
It's on a joke. Look, presently, as I'm leaving now, I'm rushing back because there's a security summit convened by the Senate because of our very deep concerns, and then of course, the discussions that we have had concerning, the lack of security in this country. Today, Nigeria is one entity that is most unsafe, that anybody, even governors, are not safe in this land. And I believe too, the same thing transits to the presidency. There's no person that can say this place or this portion of this country is safe. If you hear the gory stories that are told by our colleagues, come from their constituencies in the north, you know that we're in a death strait. The same thing happens here. When it was happening, kidnapping and the rest here, everybody thought maybe it was for the south. It's all over the country. This country is not safe. Federal government has not done enough. They have handled the issue of security with kid gloves. And now everybody, the enormity of it has completely enveloped every Nigerian. So we are so worried, no doubt about that. And you see, for us to get reminded that these were promises that were made. Now we are going to security challenge, we're going to take care of it. Now the third year is running. Nothing has been done. Of course, every segment of government that is concerned, the legislative arm of government, the Senate was concerned. Today, we are concluding the security summit convened. It's at the instance of the Senate. The Vice President opened it on Thursday last week. We have been on this matter. All the critical stakeholders that are connected with security matters in this country have been called to come and see their side of the story. Now, traditional rulers and all of them, they are coming to the security chiefs and all of that on Monday. Also, the Vice President, who came out very clearly that primarily, even to police our society, to police this country, never again do you think it will be possible for you to be policing my own ward, or where I come from Abuja. It is not possible. These are them realities. But even as we speak this, a segment of the leadership of the executive, they don't still believe in it. State police, we have since passed that. Mind you, when people were talking about independent television station ownership, if you bring electronic, media and put it, in private, under private, hands, what is going to happen is that people can just announce election results from their private television stations. But has that one happened?
No.
Oh, if we have independent or state police, governors are going to use it to oppress people. Let us get there. In other climes, local governments or counties, they have police. They have their own police. Why can we not have state police? That, of course, the state, the chief executive of the state, that will say, yes, these people are under our command. And then you know that the ordinary people, the locals, you know, will be policed by people that they know, or people that know them. Then, of course, you know into that, yes, you are beginning to take care of security issues. Okay, but when it's, you are doing it from somewhere else, you will find out that the victimization that we are even getting between people that are in the same party, from the president to the governor, because they are not on the same talking line, there's a problem. So we are already seeing it cannot be worse.
Okay, now, I want to find out from you, what is different in terms of approach to dealing with the issue of security? Because you just talked about a summit that has been ongoing.
Yes.
Isn't this the usual norm of talk? I mean, last week or so, there was a summit in Maiduguri where you had some of the Northeast governors or so. They come together, talk. What is new in terms of the different, I mean, of a different approach to dealing with this issue of security?
Let me say very clearly. The persons that seemingly are the one breaching security or causing the security challenge, or that are causing the mayhem of destruction of lives and property of our people, they are known. They are known by our people. They can be identified. In fact, even the operations can be predicted. And where, of course, you have security information going around, you should be able to counter these things before they happen. When they now happen, or after they have happened, you'll be hearing that the DSS told this, police will pass the buck to this. They are known. And even persons who are promoting this, they are equally known. Whether they are politicians or they are people who have economic interest in one way or the other, they are known. Then you now ask, what of those that have the constitutional responsibility or the statutory responsibility of having to deal with this situation? They are there. Is it the army? Is it the police? Is it the civil defense? Who has to do it? All the security apparatus that we have in this country, the DSS, the NIA, the military intelligence, the police, how can you be president and you say something is happening? These people don't report back to you. The national security advisor is there. They are all offices under the direct supervision of Mr. President. I say something has happened you do not know. If the political will, they want to do it. The people that were slaughtered in Benue, was it not predicted? The governor said, no, they left this location to come to this place. And that they reported to security agencies that this mayhem was going to be caused. What did they do? So if you look at it, what has to be done differently is for us to have the political will to fight this thing head on. Everybody seems to have some interest. Hesme. Are they not visible? What they are doing along Kaduna Abuja Road, what they are doing along Benin Auchi Road, don't even know where they are. Every day they kidnap people in Benin City. They pass through Aikawa Road, or the 80, or the old Camry. Put people in their boat. Don't you know the route? This is the route. But let us go and counter them. Over the past 10 to 15 years, between Okada and Ekadolo, every weekend there's robbery. It's been known all these years. Can we not go and man that route and apprehend, the robbers or those that are perpetrating the evil there? Can it not be done? Do you need a senator to go and stand there? We have told them this is what it is. Persons known to me have been robbed on that road. Or you're going out to road, they were kidnapping people. It was on daily basis. If you go now between Okene and whatever, you will see robbery. If you want to dare yourself, anytime from 7 p.m. you go on this road, you will meet robbers. Our police, they are where they are there. What do you do? It is just that we don't have the way to fight these things. And we don't have a government that is responsive and responsible enough to fight this evil. Is now they are just overtaking or taking over Sambisa Forest. that we have been hearing of in the last 5 years. It's now that the military just took over Sambisa Forest. It is now we are saying we want to put $1 billion to the issue of security. Assuming that was wrong on the part of Jonathan's government. In the last 3 years, we have not had enough time. We have not had enough time to deal with this security thing. Even if you want to buy military hardware and all of that to fight these things, or you want to completely reorientate or revitalize our military forces, we have had time. That's why we are talking about petrol. Fine, assuming all our refineries have become moribund, how long does it take to construct a new one? How much will it even take to construct a new one? If really you are compassionate enough to say, yes, let me make life more abundant for our people. It's just unfortunate that the people really that we have been putting in positions are people who have not shown patriotic zeal to ensure that the lives of Nigerians are better. We go to other climes. Everybody individually, oh, this country is not working. In the collective, we can't postulate anything. We can't say anything really that can add to the lives of our people. It's unfortunate. And at any time, primordial interests are trumped up. You don't belong to my party. You don't belong to my religion. I believe what is wrong with us is the Nigerianness. In each and every one of us, whether you are civilian, whether you are military, it's the same thing. In other places, there are objectives. You will say fundamental objectives and directive principles of state policy. That is chapter 2 of our constitution. What must government do to alleviate the service of our people? Is it in the area of industry, area of agriculture, area of health, area of this, social services? You tell yourself, this is what objective is. What drives it is patriotic zeal. That's why the American dream. We should have the Nigerian dream. Well, how do we get these things done? With the resources we have, let us use it to drive this. And let me tell you, what is good governance? I have distilled it to mean compassion. If you are governor of a state and the resources of the people, both human and financial, they are put at your care, and you say it is for these people, if you look at their faces and you are godly, you are compassionate, you will use that money to improve their lot. That is good governance. If you are selfish, you are not showing, you are not compassionate, you will take those things, you personalize them. That is bad governance. That is what you see in our system. Nobody, primordial interest that you are still seeing elicited and talking about nepotism at this time in this country. It is only my kinsmen that we appoint to position. It only means you are bereft of idea. If you are a president, you are doing that. If you are a governor, you are doing that. If you are a senator, you are doing that. It only means that you belong to the order of old. How can you explain it? You bring people that are not competent. It is not stealing money that is corruption. When you take people who do not merit positions and you put them over those who merit, it's even worse corruption. And I believe those in position of authority in this country must learn how to put people in proper positions so that we're able to drive the wheel of good governance, so that people can benefit from it. I just wish too that someday, somehow, we'll be able to put aside these primordial considerations and see the bigger picture, which is Nigeria.
Okay, we need to let you go because it's a very tight day for you. But just before we let you go, 2019 is around the corner. What are those factors that will determine the outcome of 2019 against the background that your party, after a checkered, history, so to speak, has been able to get its acts together, but every now and then we see defection, from one side to the other. So what are those factors that will shape 2019?
Well, first and foremost, the question of moving from one party to the other is not alien to us. This is what we call, dynamics in parties. Parties, people move from one place to the other, so that at least they too be able to meet their aspirations in one way or the other. That is an aside. But I think the major thing that will shape 2019, it is fast approaching, yes, but I want to stand on the side of the people. Including me. The people must be able to make their correct choices, irrespective of whatever is thrown at them or whatever anybody has to, use to deceive them.
Well, people say the people have become hungrier. To the
Yes,
point that
yes, because
they can't afford anything.
They have created the poverty deliberately. They have impoverished the people, so that at the time they come with the peanuts or with the handouts, the people believe too that they are on their side. How do you explain it? On election day, somebody comes, and gives you 5,000 naira, only to come and impoverish you for 4 years. Anybody, including me, who does not have evidence of performance should not be re-elected.
All right, thank you. Thank you very much. The very distinguished Senator Matthew Rohide, who is the senator representing Edo South Senatorial District. It's a delight to have you here, and we thank you for all the useful thoughts that you brought to bear in this conversation. Hope next time we'll call on you, you'll oblige us, as much as time will permit you. Okay, that's it on this segment of the show, TMI Monday.